Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Jerome, and welcome to the channel. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Anyways, so let's just jump right into it. I played Brave Sprites. I pretty much went to two tournaments back to back. No, I'm sorry. I went to one tournament on Sunday, then I went to another one on Wednesday, and in both of those, I went undefeated. And I just wanted to show the deck because I think that this is probably the most consistent and best Spright deck that I've built so far. And on top of that, I think Adventure Spright or Brave Spright is probably the best variation of sprites that you can be playing. It's just, like I said, it can go really strong first or second. Like, it doesn't really matter if you go second or first because it can play through boards. It can set up insane boards. It can also play through Dark Ruler. It's probably just the strongest variation out of the sprites so far, as from what I've been playtesting and what I've seen and stuff like that. I think that's just the best route that you can go if you're into sprites. Without further ado, I'll go ahead and show the deck. So play the 3 blues, and then the 3 jets, and then I did 2 reds and 1 carrot. I see some people do only 1 red and 1 carrot. I think that in a build like this, you probably want to go with 2 reds and 1 carrot. And then I did 1 pixies. I think this is the only card in this entire deck that is cuttable if you didn't want to play it. But I just threw it in there because a lot of times, a lot of people do not prepare for a pixies to happen. And it can easily shut down an entire person's turn sometimes, because sometimes they'll just normal summon a monster and try to attack over your Spright Elf, but then you just say in your main phase, I'll just go ahead and use use Elf's effect to get back blue and then search for pixies, or you can just starter blue and then search for pixies. Now they're like, okay, well, now my attack is going to be useless, so that's why I do it. Next, I did the 1 angler with 2 beavers. Now, the reason why I did 2 beavers and 1 angler is because since you're playing the adventure package, you can easily send this out of you can just dump it out of your hand with Fateful's effect. So then I'll get you your 2 beavers out, and your beavers can always just come back to your hand because of Toad, so you don't need a 3rd beaver. Next, I did the 1 rodent toad in with the 3 swamp frogs. You have to obviously play this if you're playing pretty much almost any version of Spright, except for the Tri-Brigade version. You don't need to play the frog package at all. And then that would do it for basically all the main monsters. Then you have the 3 hand traps that I play, and I keep telling people this is the best hand trap to be playing right now. I don't know why people are not main decking these things. These things shut down people left and right. I'm telling you, out of every time I have fully resolved Droll, I pretty much won. Like, I think there was maybe one time where it didn't do anything, but other than that, I have like literally won instantly because of Droll. Is this strong is this card is probably the strongest hand trap in my opinion right now, because think about it. Ash stops 1 search, just 1, and you have to time the very specific search you want to stop. Whereas Droll says you get that 1 search, that's it. You're not getting anything else. You're not drawing. You're not searching. That's it. You're done. You're done with that for your entire turn. I'm telling you, this card is stupid strong. It stops so much from happening. That's why I think now it is perfect to main deck them. Literally, like I said, every time I resolve it, it's like I instantly win because they just can't do anything else. They just sit there. They make a tiny board. My turn. I just get over it and I win, basically. So, telling you, start playing Drolls. Anyways, next, the adventure package. So I did 2 water enchantress and obviously the 1 Griffin Rider. You don't need to do 3 enchantress and 3 rights. I think that is too cloggy, especially since I'm playing a 40 card deck. And if you're going with 40, you don't need to see 3 copies of any of that stuff because it's just too cloggy. You're like I said, in 40, you're gonna probably open up with 1 of them. I always open up with at least maybe a right, or the Fateful, or the Griffin Rider, or sorry, not the Griffin Rider, but the Water Enchantress. So I never needed a 3rd copy of any of them. So then you got the 2 rights, and then the Fateful with the Draco back. So which leads us into our spells. The obvious three that you have to be playing, which is the 3 starters, the 1 smashers. If you wanted to cut out the pixies for something, maybe a 2nd smashers would be the route, but I don't know. I think in this build, 1 smashers is just fine. I never needed a 2nd one or anything like that. And now for the best card going second in this deck, because it absolutely slaps almost everything that I played against so far, and that is the 3 super polys. Absolutely disgusting, like how this card can just change around the entire game. I have like OTK'd like I think three times just because of super poly. A lot of people want to sit there and go Beatrice, dump the Fairytale. Go Beatrice and dump the Scythe, and then on my turn they do the Baron to get back the Scythe. When Scythe hits the field and it does its effect, I just change super poly, fuse their Scythe and the Beatrice away because they're both light and fairies, and then I bring out the Garura, and then I pretty much just do the whole adventure package and then swing for game. So I'm telling you, really, really strong. The best going second card I think in the game right now. Next is triple tactics. I did 3 of these, picked them up, and I was like, yeah, I have to play 3 of these. These things are stupid. Crazy thing is, I see these and then sometimes I don't see them. Sometimes they put in work, sometimes they just sit there in my hand and I just discard them because I don't really need them. But overall I think they're really good and pretty much need it. And then the last 3 cards, 2 E-controls, and then the 1 called by. These put in a lot of work, like a lot of work. So many times I've gotten around so many cards like Imperm and all that want to just negate my monster, and I'm just like, cool, E-control, get rid of my monster, take yours, and now I get my effect and I can just keep going like nothing ever happened. So absolutely busted card, love it in this deck. Next is the extra deck. Did 2 of the Spright elves. Maybe I would say maybe play a 3rd one. If there's anything I would change about the extra deck, it's probably bumping this up to 3. That's about it. But next is the 1 Pit Knight. This one will probably be the one that I would switch out for another copy of Spright Elf. I never went into it except for one time, and when I did go into it that one time, it was only because I can just make it, which was pretty good, because a lot of times when you summon this, your opponents immediately react to this and they're like, I have to get this thing off the field, because they know that it's just going to keep being a negate every turn. But they forget that if it gets destroyed, it just comes right back on the end phase. So a lot of people go out of their way to get rid of this, and I kind of like how people kind of draw their attention to this. They aggro this more than they do the elf, so I like it just because of that one reason. Next, the 1 Gloomy, and then I did the Nightmare Unicorn with the Access Code Talker. Came up one time. The guy literally had 53 life points left exactly, so I was like, oh, cool. Just go into Nightmare Unicorn and then go into Access attack for game. So it was pretty cool. That was the only time I actually ever made Access in this deck, was that one moment. For the fusions, I did the 1 Mud Dragon of the Swamp and the 1 Garura. I did have this as, I think for one tournament, I think for one tournament I did the Draco's Depelia, but I noticed that I wasn't really, because I was thinking I was going to match a lot of tier limit players and I could just fuse off their Draco's Depelia for my Draco's Depelia, but it just never happened. So instead I just went to Mud Dragon, because I think this is more versatile a little bit, because not everyone's playing a fusion deck, right? So that's why I switched it out for this. And then this is just, my god, this is just a stupid card. Gives me free wins a lot. A lot of people forget that this thing does double damage when it attacks. So I just sit here with this and I just build the board up and enter battle, swing with all the lower monsters, and then attack this, and it's $3 grand game. And it's just like, I don't know, I love it, man. I love that fusion. I'm glad we got it. Really helps out the game a lot. Next I had the 1 Soul Sweeper. And then you got the good old Zeus package like everyone else does. The 1 Sky Cavalry, the Downard, and the Zeus. Pretty standard. And then obviously for the last 3, if you couldn't guess it already, it's the 1 Toad with the 2 Gigantic Spright. Yep, you gotta play them. And there's not really much to say, need to be said about those. Moving on to the side deck. Did 2 DD Crows. I don't do 3 because I don't have a 3rd one, and even if I did have a 3rd one, I'm not sure what I'll take out. Maybe I'll take out like one of the extra Cosmic Cyclones. I did 2 Dark Rulers. I think I did 3 at first, but I realized that this deck just does really good going second or first. So I was like, I don't really need a third Dark Ruler. Maybe 2 is just fine. And so yeah, I cut out the third one instead and just put in an extra Cosmic Cyclone. The Harpies, and then the 3 Cosmic Cyclones. Yeah, like I said, I cut out the Dark Ruler for this, for third one. I don't know. Maybe this is like the flexible spot. Maybe you should only be doing 2 of these, but I don't know. I just felt like playing 3 just in case. Then for the traps, I did the 1 Red Reboot. You're gonna have to do that. And then I did the Trap Trick package. That's what I like to call it, because basically, you know, it's just 2 Trap Tricks, and then the 2 D barriers with the 2 pointers. You know, I love this package. It works really good. You know, if you side all this in, you typically see at least one of these in your opening hand, and it's, I don't know, it's really nice. The best one is when you open up like one of these and like one of these traps. So if you open up like one of this and 1 D barrier or 1 pointer, that's pretty much game. Like, I mean, you get to lock them out of their turn with the D barrier, and you also get to rip a card out of their hand. And on top of that, you probably have your Omni Negate set up. So, you know, it's not much that they can do. It's pretty much, that's a wrap. And I have done that, I think, at least 2 times, and it was pretty gross. I mean, the person was just like, yeah, I mean, like, what could I do? And I'm just like, yeah, this game's pretty broken right now. But yeah, like I said earlier, I think this is the best route that you could be taking if you're interested in playing a Brave Spright deck or Adventurous Spright deck, whatever you want to call it. This is probably, like I said, I mean, undefeated 2 times back to back, and then went undefeated again the very next day playing Runic Spright, which I don't want to make a video on Runic Spright just yet, because yes, I did go undefeated with it, but the thing is that I felt myself playing more of the Spright, just a regular Spright combos, than actually ever using the Runic cards. I used the Runic cards all of, I think, 3 times. I used it against a Predaplant, and then I used it against Mathmix, and then I used it in the last round against another Runic player. But that was it. I never really like needed it. It was just there to be there in a way. So I don't know how I completely feel about Runic Spright. It definitely is a very strong deck. The thing is that it's kind of like the Runic cards are just, you know, they're just there just to be there. But yeah, that's all I have. I think that was everything that I had to talk about. I think in the next video I'm going to be revisiting my ban list predictions for that I did a month ago, because clearly things have changed and I have completely different opinions on a lot of the stuff I said before. But yeah, if you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. If you do like and subscribe, guess what? It helps out other people that are in need of some, you know, deck ideas and stuff like that. So yeah, it doesn't only help out me, helps out everybody else as well. So yeah, until then, I will see you guys in the next video, okay? Peace.